going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at Scrub Games, and today we are on episode 4 of my Road to Finals series, a series I did last year and I'm doing this year as well, to help people prepare for the EU Finals coming up this week, because it's fast approaching, and also we've had limited time to test for the new set and get prepared, because we've been waiting for Bandai to actually drop the information and not stuff and actually get it released so we can try it. So I thought this series would be very handy to help, and if it is, just let me know. You can do that by liking the video, you can do it by commenting down below, or you can do it by subscribing and also clicking the notification bell to get updated with my videos as when they drop. So, got that out a little bit earlier. But for this episode, we're on episode 4, so we've gone over a few different topics. But for this one, we want to have a look. Well, I wanted to have a look and kind of discuss about what are some potential great rogue picks. Because if you've ever seen anything from my channel at all, you know I love a good rogue deck. Like, I'm not big on playing the meta decks. Like, most of the time when I play meta decks, like the ones you expect. Like, if you remember with meta, it means most effective tactic available. Most time when I play those is if they come in the character that, or like a playstyle, like many a character, or sometimes a playstyle that I really enjoy. Like Sin is a good character. I really like Sin. I did play that for a little bit, but then most of the time I play a deck, and it's most of the time a rogue because mirror matches can be sometimes unfun and pretty toxic when it comes to like interactions. So I try to avoid it where possible and just play the decks I enjoy and the characters I enjoy. And as you've seen, Vegito, things like that are more rogue decks that you don't see often, and I do love playing those. So I've got 10 different ones just to go over that I expect would be a pretty great rogue picks to go for the format, and you can probably guess that a fair few of them are red because recently now, like I got back in the game after setting up my stuff, and I decided to stick with a color. And most of the decks I was looking to try were red, so I focused on that. And we're gonna have a look and see which one. So we'll start off with probably the one you expect to see from me for the first one. We have Vegito. So all of them are going to come with benefits, like 5 different benefits, like say, to explain like why I feel this is a good rogue pick. And you can agree with me in the comments, or like if you like if you agree with me, or comment down below if you don't agree and why. So basically, we can get a bit of discussion so people can see why there's other opinions. Because normally these are all my opinions of it, what I expect for preparing. But if you have a different opinion, that can help benefit other people watching this as well. So to start with the first one, Vegito. So there's some good benefits I find with this deck. One is it's got a solid counter, quite a cheap counter as well, in Almighty Resistance being a 2 cost that just needs your leader to be red and discard a yellow card, and it does need you to pay 1 red and 1 yellow, but it's very easy done when you play the yellow version of this. So you got a counter to help push through your big swings. If you don't know with this deck, you can spam out 8-drop triple strike Vegitos in this deck from turn 3 onwards, and one of them is your very good, as like the second point, is your great secret rare. Because remember, with this deck, you've got an 8-drop Vegito secret rare you can drop for 1 on top of a Z battle card, and that allows you to draw 4 cards to give you 4 brand new cards, and also tap 4 your opponent's cards down. And I say cards, meaning you can hit energy, leader, battle card, unison, you name it. Any card, as long as it's a barrier protecting it, you can tap that down. So one great thing is you got a counter that kind of like you got the secret rare you can drop to just tap out the energy to help push through your triple strike swings and your big swings. And then where they're tapped out, they're gonna have to use some free negates and stuff, which then the counter comes in great in just stopping their free negates. And if they take the life down, that's less life you have to worry, and the more like easier to can kill them if they're 4 less life, and they don't want to take a triple strike swing. And they take a life to negate it, and you counter. They're now in kill range, things like that. And just like every red deck, it got a big boost explosive dance. It's very easy to get that generic red Z extra down. So get the almighty I can't remember what it's called now. The 10 times Kamehameha Almighty Blast. You can get that out as early as like turn 2 to just get it out and then have it so when you're trying to push through, if you want to have an easier time defending against certain decks, Explosive Dance, just push them through. And the only thing with Explosive Dance in this deck is you don't have any real control of your life. But that's great because you can stay at high life, and if they push you down lower and you have to worry about that, about being at lower life now, Explosive Dance is there to save the day. That doesn't require much, it's just a fucking stupid card. But every red deck's got it. And you also have a good amount of consistency as well. because you've got the 4 and the 5 drop combo to help you filter for your deck by 4 cards by using the 4 drop to bring out 2 from your deck, that's fitting 2, and then drop the 5 drop on the top of it to then use its effect to draw 2 as part of its condition to play from the Union Patara, to draw 2 more cards. So you've got that combo, every time you can drop it, they thin your deck by 4 cards, meaning you thin your deck further and further to find the cards you want. And when you play out the Z battle card Vegito from your Z deck, you're then looking at further 7 cards for your deck to try and find your Vegitos and get a consistency of finding the plays, like your 8 drops to play out, your secret rare, and your combo, your 4 or 5 drop combo. Plus, a lot of the Vegetas and Gokus you have are like cantrips, so when you play out you got the 1 drop Vegeta that comes down for, that's like a hate towards D magic and stuff. That also draws when it plays. Now the barrier protection. You got the red Goku that can give himself a boost at turn 3 when your opponent gets 3 more energy, and long as you got 2 other battle cards on the board with it. Make himself 25k for the turn and adds the power onto anything you Patara over top of him. That also draws a card and other things as well. And your leader as well. When you awaken, you can start swinging your lead before you enter Z leader, and then every turn you bottom deck in a card that you don't want in your hand that you still want to see later on in the game, and then drawing 2 cards to keep drawing without the need to attack, and bouncing things through barriers because it's consistency. And also you've got strong power plays because, as I said, you're playing a lot of 8 drop Vegitos with triple strike on top of these 1 drop Z extras, and they have barrier, and sometimes they have effects like deflect and stuff like that. But they're normally 8 drop triple strikes with barrier, giving them protection and big power plays. So 30k is a big amount of power, and triple strike is a lot of damage to take if it connects. So you got a lot of this. You keep dropping it turn after turn. Plus you got the 5 drop that can then like switch himself out into a 7 drop and rip a card off your board in your hand and threaten triple strike mid battle as well. So you've got scary plays like that. Plus you've also got the Axis Z deck being Oolong to then have a finisher that people don't expect if you're playing the yellow version. So it's got a lot of benefits. Like, it's one of my main picks for the finals. Still trying to decide what I'm gonna play, but yeah, it's a great pick. And if you want to see like in action to kind of see if you want to try it out, feel free to check out my video to check out my channel to check out gameplay on it and the deck profile as well. So that's the first one. So went a bit more in depth than I probably am for this one because I've got a lot of love for this deck. It's one of my main decks, as you've mainly seen. So for number 2, we've got U7 Gohan. So this is a never good deck. Once again, a never red deck, bolstered by Explosive Dance, and it's a very strong one. Probably one of the best bits of deck building I've seen come out of the US in a long time. Like, probably, yeah, the best bit of deck building I've seen come out of the US since before a Zenkai series. So and that was probably from that was like not since the Trio Dende deck. And it's got a lot of good benefits. It's got a good amount of combo power because the way to draw with this deck is when you use a U7 card in the combo, you draw a card, and you got the 1 drop Gohan that when you combo the skill, you draw 1 card as well. So a lot of the time when you're comboing to kind of draw for your deck and draw quite a bit. And that also means that on your swings, you're comboing, adding more power to your swings to make it so your opponents have to combo out more or take the hits. And along with that, it's got access to great secret rares. And now it says great secret rare, but it should be great secret rares because it's got access to 2 good ones. Because it's a Gohan, Son Gohan Adolescence leader, it's got access to the Newfound Might, the yellow Gohan Piccolo secret rare to have access to, and that's a very good secret rare, especially if you can use outside of its own color. That's really good. And since you're a combo deck, combo with that plus other things to then out combos the swings a little bit easier if your opponent's trying to go all in on you, try and push through some damage, and then bring it out to kind of control the board by tapping things down like you don't really get from red. So having benefits in your secret rare of a color outside the actual color of the deck. And it makes it so you can push through more swings, and at the end of that swing have it to then come down and swing again to make it give you more free swings. But then we also have access to, because it's a red Saiyan leader, the SS4 Vegito secret rare as well as access to. Like, normally you've got to be comboing, and normally you want to, because it's very unison based, you want a skills in your drop ready. But you can always maneuver that anytime you want by just comboing and let go to drop. And you can have that as a way to give you a good amount of offense plus a good amount of defense if they do survive, and a lot of knowledge by having a look at their hand as well. So it's a very good one. It's like both secret rares are more usable in the later turns, whereas the red one, the Vegito, is more turn 4 onwards, whereas the other one could be used a little bit earlier depending on what's rested. But as well as those two having the great secret rare and good combo power, you got Explosive Dance, Every red deck's going to have this down. You got good consistency where you're comboing and filtering from your decks. You're comboing to draw and filtering through, and a lot of your things search and then the combos draw and stuff like that. You got the skill loss that you'll get an extra benefit by having the Gohan on board. When you combo with skillless, you get a draw from that, plus a draw from your leader for being a U7. You got the Android cards that you combo with a skillless. When you've got just itself and a skillless in your combo area, you draw off that. You've got like the one drops that when you play a Unison, that looks at top three to add an extra red card. Plays at one drops, also then search through forever. And you awaken down. When you awaken, you just need to have a red Unison in your play. That's 2 cost or less. Or 2 cost, and you can awaken straight away, taking yourself down to 5, so you can range of token negates, and then also take, if you haven't taken damage, 3 cards from your life, 1 card and untap 1 as well, and you got good access to some cards in your Z deck as well. So great use of Z deck, meaning you're doing a lot of comboing to get draws, meaning you're comboing, putting stuff in your Z energy, so you can have enough Z energy to play out stuff in your Z deck, and you get access to very good things. You get access to Rush Attack. Every red deck has that, but more of a benefit in this. You got Defender of Life to help push like the burn and like not worry too much about what the life total is. Get the 4, burn on the 3, and try and go in with once you got lower life. No, don't worry too much about dealing too much damage. You have to deal 7 damage instead of 8 like most decks do. You got the one that was made for the deck in Anniversary Box. That gives extra benefit to having skillless. You got one out of color, being the yellow one that helps stun leaders, and you got the good Z extras as well to help out. So great use of Z deck, and this is another one that I'm potentially taking to finals. I just need to do a bit more testing. Now I've got all the pieces to play it. So that's number 2. So we're trying to see if we can make it a quick rest, so it doesn't go into too long a video. Then we have the next one, Bulma. So once again, never a deck, and this one was like a deck that was hyped up to be a very strong one and a very horrible one, and expecting Bandai to hit it and just being like a very toxic deck to play against, and it kind of is, because now just like a red deck, it's got explosive dance. So you'll see on every red deck we'll have explosive dance on the list, but this one has the benefits of incredible defense, a lot of blockers. You can have barrier blockers as well, and just defend yourself and not worry too much. You got a good amount of burn, like you can play the 4-drop Nappa the burn as a way to just not worry about attack and just play out Nappa, and then the Nappa is a red saying, so you can use the block as well, and you can easily hold off, especially with now explosive dance. And you even got burn if you play the like the default secret rare for it being the red Vegito secret rare, which can wipe their board and burn them alive as well, which is very, very strong, and even crits them alive as well. So you got good burn in that, so you don't have to worry too much about life. You can get that if they put themselves down to 4, you can slowly burn over time and then just defend very easily. And you've got amazing draw power because the leader doesn't need to attack and interact to get any draws. It just needs to draw on the unawakened side. You just draw 1 a turn. That's it. And then when you awaken, if you do on the especially on the awakened turn, and then when you awaken, you draw 2 cards on your awakening, and on your awakening turn you get 3 draws for free, and then untap 2 energy as well. So you get extra 2 energy and 3 cards for free, which is amazing. And once you're awakened, Explosive Dance allows you to just go ahead and just defend a lot easier. Still using blockers to defend against attacks they can get through, if they can get attacks after, and Explosive Dance just go negate the first one, and now you have to kind of like sack off a lot of your Z energy to be able to push through, and then you can just keep blocking those. And then deck can't really deck out because it's got that Videl that helps recycle your super combos, other cards, making it so you can't really deck out, but just keep using Videl, sacking it off to then get it back, and then just keep making it so you never worry about decking out. And there's not really many any super strong mill deck in the format. You do have Cooler, but then you can avoid playing battle cards because Cooler doesn't play much out, and you can focus on killing and burning and stuff against things like that. Because Cooler wants to get the 4, so it can awaken and then get some more benefits, and then you can just get to the later game, use Explosive Dance as well, and just focus on burning with Nappa and the secret rare. So, but Bulma does seem a good one, but then the only problem is it's best of 1 Preside, so you have to be very careful because it can play quite slowly for the fact that you're not really interacting with your opponent, you're just playing your own game. So that's 1. And then we got Beerus. Now this is more of my personal favorite, a personal one for me, because I feel like this one is a very good one as well. It has good draw power on the front side, just being a sack off a red or yellow card to draw 2. So once again, just like Bulma, not needing to attack your opponent to let them generate Z energy, and let them come to you. So rather than go to them, they come to you. and get a bit of nice bit of benefits in arrival tricks. So you don't have to attack them, but you can still get advantage when you lead. Meaning that if they want to get Z energy, you have to attack you. And when they do attack you, you've got arrival tricks. So you can play out some cards via arrival. A lot of Beerus cards which get good effects, but like locking things down, minusing things, or even keeping a leader stuck in rest mode, which is a good one with the really old red one. And you get the use of two great colors as well. You get the benefits of red, like the great benefits of red, and you get some nice benefits from yellow as well. Two of those examples are in the benefits here, being access to Explosive Dance and Flying Nimbus, two fantastic floodgates in this format, both accessed in one deck. So if you if you don't have Explosive Dance but you have Nimbus, you can use Nimbus to help defend. If you have Nimbus, you can Explosive Dance. You can have 4 copies of each in the deck. That meaning you can do what you need to do and then defend a lot easier while they're just struggling to try and push through or negging themselves to try and push through. And like I said, it's got decent draw power. You stay on the Awaken side as much as possible to then draw. In which on the Awaken side, you do get access to just free combos as well. So when you're not drawing, you're still getting a free combo every turn from a red, yellow, multicolor, and then normally just one cost 10Ks. So this one I did want to test. I do want to try and put together the test. Just there's a lot of red decks to try, a lot of decks I want to try out to get the perfect deck to play. But I feel this is a good rogue pick that you can potentially go for as long as you learn to play it correctly and build it correctly. So that's the fourth one. We're going to 5, so we're halfway through now, and we come out red and into blue. And this is a Android 21, the Expert 21. This could be a great road pick. It probably could be a good road pick depending on like what you go against. Because once again, best of one Preside, meaning you've got a limited amount of time, and more defensive decks or stally decks might have a harder time due to time rules and then losing out due to that. And it does have some benefits. There's a hand control deck, but then so you get the control to hand, limited amount of resources they have to make it so they've got less things they can do. But in a format where we could potentially get like a lot of like huge hands, a lot of draw power, then you might have a harder time trying to control the hand. So that's a good benefit. But then it depends on if there's any decks that draw a lot, which Beerus seems to draw a lot, and some other decks that might be able to draw a fair few cards. And you got access, just like with Beerus, of two great colors. You've got access to good green stuff and also some good blue stuff as well. Two great colors into one lead, and more the benefit of a blue leader than the green leader as well. And you got a great secret rare for time, so you got the Android 21 secret rare for time rules as well. So if you're losing on time and it comes, and you can just use secret rare to just clear the board, make it a little bit easier to defend yourself, and also add some extra life to your life, up to 2 at least. So then if you're like down by 1 life, you can put yourself potentially up to be 1 higher than your opponent as well. So a good amount of draw as well, where you draw from the lead and you can get that triggered in your opponent's turn and your turn, which is quite nice. And you've got a great use of your Z deck, because you've got some good stuff to your Z deck, and when you're trying to use your comboing, like the combo step to kind of like reduce the hand and get some draws and stuff like that in your opponent's turn and your turn, you can then get Z energy to make use of some of your good Z deck cards as well. So that's one. Might not be as great as some other ones, but it could be a good one depending on what you see and what you go against, and how you play the deck as well. So we're halfway through. Let's go on to number 6. And this one's the GOAT. This one I just have to chuck it in. Like, I don't think there's many ever green outside the ones we see. The meta, Gohan and Go Rose and stuff like that. Because once again, green got a lot more good cards, but it didn't get any like beneficial leaders that could really benefit from good generic green cards. Like, it's got Go Bros and Gohan, but that's only 2. It hasn't got like Steel. There's a lot of green leaders that are more locked into their niches and they're like little, I can't even remember the word for it, like gimmicks. And we haven't got many. It's only in the last few sets we've managed to get things like Go Bros and Gohan. They're more generic, but there's still green. There's still got some leaders that are more gimmicky. And even though we're getting more good generic green cards, there's not many leaders that can take advantage of that. But I feel green King Cold could still be a good one. Like if you play it right, build it right, like the benefits is copium. Like you get a good amount of copium. Feel like just like me, I think it could be a good deck. That's true. And since I last played it, it's got some better green tools, like a lot more cheaper tools as well. It used to be green used to have a lot, like when I used to play this, it had a lot of expensive cards, like the Pay at least 2, which isn't like 2 to do not that much isn't great, but now it's got better green tools that are a lot cheaper. Plus, you have some cool free and low cost plays that you can free play after King Cold Promoted and then pop and push crypts plays, and also everyone's that quite cost more like one cost to play out, which is a lot cheaper than it was before. And one nice benefit I feel is that it's got access to the very easy access to the quarter counterplay, which during your opponent's turn allows you to stop a 4-drop or less from coming into play by sending it straight to the drop. And if they got 8 cards or more in the hand, they got the Discard card, meaning you can stop something, a big play from coming out if they pay like 1 energy, paying 1 energy to stop 1 energy play, and making also discard a card is quite nice to limit their their things they have access to. So like their options, that's the word I'm trying to think of, their options. And also you've got a flexible playstyle as well. You can play quite controlling for like counterplaying stuff, like managing the board, pushing through selected swings. You don't have to, from the lead, you don't have to attack the draw cards. That's not you gain advantage. You have to play fill cards, which you can then recycle with things like Berry Blue. So you don't need to attack your lead just to draw. So you can be selected for what you swing with, like swing with crit swings or double strike swings, stuff like that. To kind of deny your opponent resources, while also limiting their play, like controlling their plays, countering their stuff, popping their stuff to make it so they're not having a fun time. And then you can also switch that to being more aggressive, like just swinging through, because the leader also does a nice activate battle where you can sack off a green field extra, that's 2 costs or less, energy cost of 2, and then give this card a 10k power for the battle. I mean, you can swing like 25k every turn as long as you sack off a fill card, which is quite nice. So you can do it defensively and push some pressure on. So I feel there are some benefits to it. Like, it might not be the best, but yeah, Copium is the best benefit of this deck, and I still feel it's a good option. I just can't bother to test outside of red at the moment because it's buying into a color in this game. But then we go on to the next one. So another green one. So we got 2 green ones, and this one I feel could be quite decent because it got support in the anniversary box. Well, actually, we go in leader of what we got here. So once again, this is a green sand leader. The best kind of leaders in green seem to be green sand leaders because thanks to Gohan and stuff, it's got some good access to some cards that need you to be a green sand or green sand specific kind of things. Your benefits that you got the Go Bros, you can easily get a C extra on board, and then have that as well when a green sand does damage, you get a benefit like discard a card of Pop Link, and it being 30k, and even the Floodgate being, if your leader is a green Saiyan, being a good one to help defend, like actually getting attack, put Floodgate in your opponent to limit their hand. And also you can be a big double striker as well, because remember with this deck you've got access to the Fruit of the Tree of Might, and that can give a 20k boost to a battle card. Well, a card, like when you use it you can give a 20k boost to a card. And if that card is a Turtles, I think it's just a Turtles, not Turtles Crusher Corpse. It's a Turtles card. It also gains double strike, so you can make your leader a 35k double strike for 1 energy, and you've got easy access to get that card because you can cycle it from the extra card you give to your opponent at the start of the game to help flip their life over and stuff, or you can just get it from your drop when you awaken, but it's got bottom decking a card from your hand to grab it back from the drop to use it over and over again, which is really good. So you've got access to that, and also you've got some anniversary support. So you've now got access to a Z lead, which can give you crit. So crit along with the double strike, meaning you can push some double strike crit swings at your lead, using your lead that are quite big that your opponent has to deal with them, and yeah, putting that pressure on to deny them resources and making them, if they don't want to take it, combat a fair few cards in hand, while also being green, which is like a more hand controlly color. And plus, you have anniversary support in the Figures of Cacao, being the new Crusher Corpse, Turtles Crusher Corpse member. That also, when it comes down, can give your leader 5k boost defensively and make it a bit easier to defend yourself. Because your Z leader is not 20k like some of them are, but you've got a way to make your leader 20k base for the turn to defend a little bit easier. You've got great options for control because green's quite a good controlling color, like hitting, like controlling hand, controlling board, things like that. You've got great knowledge of that. Well, great use of that. And then you've also got knowledge of life, because thanks to the extra, you get to flip over one of your opponent's life each turn during their turn, as long as you've got mono green life energy. And so you get to see what cards are in their life, and if they take it, you know what they've added to their hands. You get a bit of knowledge. You get to know what's in their life, and if they take any of those cards that you know what's in their life, you get to know what's in their hand. So that's a nice little benefit, like we've seen with like Broly Crown back ages ago. That was a really good card to get knowledge, especially when you play it for free. And remember, knowledge is kind of power in this game. Like knowing what the opponent's got in their hand, knowing what they can potentially get hold of, can really benefit on your turn. So there's another one, and you probably thought there wasn't going to be many green leaders on there. Well, hopefully you're surprised by the two on there. More surprised by the turtles than the King Gold, really. Then the next one we've got, 'cause we've got three more. We've got the yellow ones now. So Sin. So yellow Sin. This has got some good benefits because his like main ones being the 9 drop Sin Shenron. That coming down, being 30k, just negging the skills on everything your opponent plays, can be a pain in the ass. Because it just comes down, it's a revenge blocker as well, 30k, so that's a big boy. Like, easy use to defend, just block attack. If it's a battle card, it's got revenge, it kills it. And then, yeah, anything they play just neg skills off it, and if your opponent has to get rid, if your opponent gets rid of it, you get two more cards. You get two cards as compensation, and the 1 drop ball back from your drop. So you can then go over it again, go into a 4 drop, and then go to 9 drop again, and repeat the process. So yeah, just having it on the board, and if it's removed, you get compensation for that for your loss, and then just being a pain in the ass to your opponent if they want to drop anything, it uses skills. So if they want to drop something and they want to use the skills, if it's got on-play skills, I'm afraid you can get access to it, but then you lose any other skills from that. But if they want to use anything that's what's on the board that it can gain, they have to wait a turn, and in that waiting, you can potentially get rid of it, which is cool. And then if your opponent's trying to drop big threats early and just pressure you with them, you got Haze to kind of like say no thank you and pop them. I kind of like, yeah, you're not too worried about big threats that can come and just start hitting you hard. So if they want to play, if your opponent wants to play the game of playing things hard and energy for cheap, Haze kind of says no. So you have to all be spirit fed that. And you got a solid Z leader now as well, where you don't have to worry about your life total when you awaken. Just need to awaken, which you said you still do that for turn 4 when as long as you're playing the unison or putting your life down the free to awaken quickly. You can go into Z leader that's in 20k, still draws your card, threatens 20k double strike like the old Red Sin one did, and also you got an activate battle to just kind of like not worry too much about if your opponent's trying to go all in with a battle card swing, as long as you keep your hand up, and that allows you to also then easily snap back if you want to go the later game of going into your normal leaders 6 energy play by just whenever you want, just go snap back using that to main/battle, then set up your drop and get into the late game play of having a board full of good stuff. Plus, you're yellow, so you have access to Nimbus. You've got an easy way to defend yourself. Nimbus, just chuck a load of like 4 copies of it in. Defend yourself very easily. Set things up in your drop as well, ready for the 6-drop play. And you got a flexible playstyle where your opponent has to worry then, are you playing the aggro version, which is still very strong, or the defensive version, which is still very strong. So you got to think about how they're playing. Are they playing the aggressive one, just going to aggro me down early with some big nasty swings, or are they going to try the late game and then outgrind me resources and then just whittle me down with a board full of dragons that just gets bigger and bigger? Still good play. You just have to just take into account we're in a red focus meta, which could have an easy way to do 9's drop, but then you can put a lot of things out of barrier in this deck, which is going to be a hard time for red. So next one, we got number 9. We've got the another yellow one, being the Ape Coup. Well, yeah, Ape Coup, and this is a nice one because it's got a great bit of control. You can keep like just being yellow, you got a great bit of control. You can just manage your opponent's board, just keep swinging into battle cards with your things, and also access some yellow being like a stun color. You can also lock leaders down because you've got access to the being yellow. You got access to that SSB Evolved Defender. No, I think it's Evolved Defender Goku. That when it comes down, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards, leaders, or unisons or something like that in rest mode, and make it so they can attack during the next turn. So using a leader, you can swing, rest something to then rest all your opponent's rest all your opponent's non-energy cards, including a leader. Then play that Goku out, choose their leader, make it so they can't attack the next turn. So if they can't awaken and like shake that effect off, then they can't attack with the leader. Some leaders need to attack to gain that advantage. And then you've got that benefit of it being able to rest everything to come into play by second off the energy. So you got that kind of use that. You can kind of put 4 in the energy, just do it turn after turn. So once you get the turn for it, you can go swing, rest leader, play it out, stop the leader from attacking. Do it again over and over again because every time you attack, you can rest all your opponent's non-energy cards, kind of lock it down. So that's quite a fun way to play if you want to be like stalled in and on that. And then every time you're adding a 25k barrier card that has deflect as well, that then can stop things from coming into play by sacking off the energy. Also has lots of barrier, like I said, lots of barrier. Like you got your Goku's that have barrier, you got your Z deck stuff that have barrier. Like you get your little Goku's like the dual attacker and the one that rests and acts as a blocker will have barrier, and barrier is hard to deal with in a red focus meta because red doesn't have great barrier removal. So the more things you have barrier, the harder it is to deal with yourself. Plus, once again, yellow, you have Nimbus as a good floodgate, and you got decent draw power, where you can get more draw off the Yamcha by using things to rest cards, like rest Goku, so you can restand them and get the extra draw off the Yamcha as well. So it's that good benefit of that. So that's the ninth one. Now we come to the last one of the video, and last option that I feel is a great road pick, and that is Hatack, Mr. Floodgate himself. And yeah, this is probably the only black knight I feel could be a good rogue pick, because yeah, and it's very good because it deals with time rules very, like, people always seem to think that Hatack is very slow, like a very slow deck, and just hate it because it's slow deck. But it's not the Hatack deck that is slow; it's the players playing against it that are slow, because they've got to really think about how they can effectively use their turn as like best as possible, and if they don't sequence properly, they're gonna get boned. And if they do want to focus sequence effectively, you got to think about it, which can take a bit of time. So it's normally the people playing against Hatch take the time that take forever, whereas the Hatch players normally just swing a lead, swing in unison, place a swing with that, and then pass, because they can only swing with like 3 things a turn if they got the unison out. Whereas people playing against have to sequence about what they're going to attack with, like what small thing they're going to attack with. Can they play out bigger things to attack with, or are they going to attack with leader first, or unison, things like that. And also it's boosted by the new promo, the new Hatchack 6-drop promo, to kind of make it easier to defend by making, like, if your opponent wants to swing with 6 or higher things, like to get around by dropping 8 drops to swing with it, they can use that as a way to defend. And you can play the long game to kind of like play to the time rules, which once again isn't like a nice strategy, but is a strategy nonetheless. Also handles wide boards by, unless their wide board is all 8 drop and higher, then you don't have to worry about how wide they go, because they can only swing on one thing unless they've got 8 drops or higher that are battle cards. Also, it's very salt inducing. You can just like tilt people so hard by just having this leader just playing against them and just being defensive, that then they start making bad plays and then just losing to themselves. So it has that kind of aspect of it as well. So yeah, if you want to look for like one of the most annoying decks, you play Hatchack, which then just makes people like be their own worst enemy. Like, they just end up playing itself, and then just you just ride the wave to victory. So that is it. That is my that's what I feel are some great potential great rogue picks, and I'll give you 10 options from my idea. If you feel there's any I missed out, or that, I didn't include any of the new ones in, because once again we only have the new set league legal for a week before the event to test out. Not everybody took benefit from the Welcome Locals to try it out, but some people might have done it like in their test groups and stuff like that. But I didn't include any new ones because they're not really rogue that we see, because we haven't seen them really be played, and we haven't got as great information about how strong they are. So once again, feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you've got any information or anything you disagree with, or any picks you reckon I didn't put in that should have been put in, comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next episode, be in episode 5. Bye for now.